Hello and welcome to the Making of Blue Wolf Part 5, I'm going to call this. It's a little late, I'm kind of tired, but this stuff is all fresh in my head, so I want to get it down on video before I go to sleep and forget half of it. Since we last talked, I have made several videos over nonsensical little things, but, well, they weren't nonsensical. They're important enough to make a video, kind of like here where I'm hesitating and whatnot, and there wouldn't have to. The point was I was making videos that I knew I would have to edit. So I made the videos, I made some audio recordings and whatnot, just so I could play around in iMovie. And I had already watched a bunch of tutorials on how to do things in iMovie. And, well, I knew the concepts from watching the tutorials, but damned if I could remember how to do half of it. So again, I'm watching the videos and taking notes on how to do things, because a lot of what you do in iMovie is knowing the keystrokes, because it's not in the freaking drop down menus or right click or left click menus. You just got to know what to do in the keystrokes, and doing it a few more times, I'm sure it'll be I won't have to think about it, but the first time it was frustrating as hell. So I ended up watching the videos again, glad I bookmarked them. And of course, instead of just watching them all the way through, I'm watching them to the point that gets to where I'm at. And anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm learning how to piece together some videos. I actually did a video, I don't know if we talked about this last time, just about how nice it was outside and, grilling and doing stuff in February in frickin' Iowa. And I posted that and only a couple people saw it. And, well, honestly, I said, I posted it on Facebook and said, this is just me playing with my toys, so don't bother. So only like 2 or 3 people did. But it did actually link up to my channel on Facebook, and the video is there. And the 2 people that actually watched it liked it. And of course, it's my mom and my best friend, so at least they acknowledged it. Anyway, another thing I got going on is I had a bunch of questions, and I figured I'd ask somebody that knows a little something about it. I got a buddy, Garen, and his wife, Angela, from back in the Marine Corps. For about 2 years when I was stationed at 8th and I, we worked together, and me and several other people, lots of other people actually, went to get-togethers they hosted at their, apartment at the time. And it was a pretty good time. Everybody got stupid drunk, and Angela was an awesome cook, and we ate very well and just had a ball. And since I got out of the Marine Corps and he got out not too long after, we'd stayed in touch a little bit, and I actually visited him down at his house down in Missouri twice that I can think of. And since then, we hadn't really been in touch other than through Facebook. We were friends and just commented a little bit on each other's stuff. Then a couple of years ago, he's really big into homesteading, which is a whole nother video I won't get into. But he created his own, or they created, I should say, their own YouTube channel, and it's all about what they're doing for homesteading. And it's actually a lot of quite interesting stuff. I watch all of their shorter videos, and I try to watch their longer form ones, although I don't always have time, because they do some live streaming stuff, and sometimes I have the time, sometimes I don't. I almost never watch it live. It's usually recording. But, finding 10-15 minutes for a video versus 2.5 hours is 2 different things. But, that's fine. They're having a good time. And anyway, my point is, I have a friend, a pretty good friend actually, that we haven't seen each other in about 22, 23 years. But again, it's like my cousin Jeff. As soon as we get online, it's like, hey, and it's like we caught up on things, but the bond is still there. So we did that today. First time I've talked to him in over 20 years. Him and Angela were on the line, and we talked. We just caught up, our life events, Of course, I know a lot of theirs simply for the fact that they're posting it online, and some of it's pretty dramatic. But in general, we caught up. I told them what's going on with me, which was nowhere near as exciting as all the life events they've had, simply because they've had kids and now grandkids, and they're into the whole homesteading thing. Versus me, I'm just career computer programmer with a lot of side projects going on. Anyway, we talked and got into a bit about YouTube and what I should be doing with this channel. And we had a lot, I say a lot, probably 20 minutes of back and forth of what my ideas were, and them basically being very nice people and saying, hey, that's a good idea, but here's what we ran into, which is exactly why I was there. I wanted to know what they ran into. And they went into it and how to approach things and what worked for them, what didn't. All this, it was all freaking wonderful. I'm on the phone, or not the phone actually, it was backstage for some streaming service that he uses, which is, I'm going to actually check out, but I'm nowhere near the point I'm ready for it to actually broadcast like they do. Maybe I'll get there. Probably. But anyway, we talked, went back and forth, discussed some ideas, and then Angela had to check out because she's got her chickens to feed. They are homesteaders. And Garen and I kind of drifted off into side topics, talking about finances and what we think about, how you think, and whatnot. And I gave him some book ideas, and he gave me some, and we went back and forth a little while. It's just me and Garen being me and Garen. I mean, our I'll tell you this, our freaking conversation today was about much, much deeper things than it was when I was in the Marine Corps. Back then, we were both fairly immature. I was probably more immature than he was. I mean, he had a family and a kid and another one on the way back then. But anyway, the things we think about now and our perspective on life is entirely different than what it was at the time. And we got into that, and that's a whole nother side topic. But it was an awesome time talking to my buds, and actually 20 years is way too long. I'm hoping to do this again fairly soon. I mean, not just about YouTube, but just keeping up with them. I actually will probably join some of their live conversations just to have fun with them. Anyway, that's where I'm at today. Relearning or getting better at iMovie and knowing a bit more about how YouTube works and how to monetize things, and knowing a whole lot more about my buddy. So it was a great day in general. And completely separate subject, today was also my mother's birthday, and my cousin Jeff, who I talked about in prior videos, he's the one that does the graphics for me. It was his birthday as well, so happy birthday to both of them. I did not talk to Jeff, but I did talk to my mom. Unfortunately, she's very prone to illness. Won't get into the details on that, but she was having a rough day. But I talked to her for a while, and apparently nobody came to see her, nobody took her anywhere. That's because my sister and her husband are down in New Orleans, and actually about this point they're on a cruise ship somewhere. And my niece and nephew and my grandniece are all not feeling very well right now, which is also like my mom. I don't know who gave it to who because they visited each other like a week ago. But nobody's feeling well, and nobody wants to get anybody else any sicker, so my mom is home alone on her birthday. She's 74 today, and not feeling very well and laying on the guilt. I don't know that she's intentionally doing that. I think it's just her personality. But, I really wanted this and I couldn't get it. It's a constant thing with her. I seriously doubt that it's probably just me interpreting it that way. I don't think she's trying to spread guilt. She's just venting. And that's kind of why I call her, because she doesn't have much of a social life. So when she talks to me, she has somebody to listen to her. And she's a very social person and doesn't get to see people very often, so it's kind of hard for her. I totally get it. It's just a little depressing because I'm, 600 miles away. There's not a lot I can do about it other than listen. Anyway, that's where I'm at today. Have a good one. I'll see you in part 6.